Joining us now is author of the new book, Poisoned Ivies, the inside account of the academic and moral rot at America's elite universities. Congresswoman Elise Stefanik, great to see you in studio. Thank you so much. Congratulations on the new book.
Thank you so much. It's great to be here, Katie.
So what was your response to seeing Hassan Piker speaking at Yale? You know, if a conservative speaker goes, even the most benign, they get canceled, they get protested, they have to have security. Charlie Kirk was killed on a college campus, and yet they openly invite Hassan Piker, who has openly called for murder and violence against his enemies, over and over again.
Well, this is why I called my book Poisoned Ivies, because there is a deep moral and academic rot at our most elite universities. Fundamentally, these universities have lost their way. They have been radicalized and become dens of political indoctrination, so deeply out of touch with their founding principles and their founding mission, but frankly out of touch with American values. My book is a deep dive on this earthquake happening in higher education, really stemming from that committee hearing heard around the world with university presidents from Penn, MIT, and Harvard, where they could not answer a very direct, simple moral question: does calling for the genocide of Jews violate your university's code of conduct? They said it depends on the context, and over 1 billion views in 1 week, the most viewed testimony ever, and it changed the course and trajectory of higher ed.
So talk about that, because I think a lot of people who watch this happening, and it's parents who want their students to get an education. It used to be that you, of course, want to get into the Ivy League. It's prestigious. You want to get the best education that you can. But they're very disheartened about this, because it's not just coming from students who are inviting people like Hassan Piker. It's from the leadership, from the deans, from the president, who you exposed at that hearing. So is that actually changing now?
Well, it's not just about the president. So that led to multiple forced resignations of the president of Penn, who forced to resign in 48 hours after that hearing and my question. The president of Harvard was forced to resign. But it goes deeper. It goes into the DEI regime of diversity, equity, and inclusion, which inherently is anti-Semitic and anti-American meritocratic values. It goes into the foreign funding piece flowing into these institutions, as well as the radical faculty. You had faculty members and professors participating and organizing some of these pro-Hamas encampments. And it's interesting. We've seen both parents and students are voting with their wallets and their feet, choosing not to go to the Ivy League and skyrocketing applications to places like Vanderbilt, University of Florida, University at Austin, which are becoming known for being more focused on academic excellence rather than the political indoctrination.
Well, speaking of pro-Hamas communists, the mayor of New York, Zohran Mamdani, is announced that the first city-owned grocery store is going to cost $30 million, but it's not going to open until 2029.
Like a true communist.
Like a true communist. We laugh about it, but he's using taxpayer money to do this, even though there are grocery stores available for $2-3 million he could buy and also run into the ground. Your response as a New Yorker watching this happen?
Well, he's destroying the city of New York, and I will tell you, you don't have Zohran Mamdani without what happened at Columbia. The same people that organized the pro-Hamas encampment, literally the same pro-Hamas leaders, were part of Zohran Mamdani's campaign.
Well, his dad's a professor.
Of course, his dad's a professor, and I talk about that in this book. There's a whole deep dive on Columbia. It talks about Professor Mamdani, how Zohran himself was raised in a petri dish of this anti-American ideology. And of course, that is determining the policies that he's putting forth. So we're in for a tough few years in New York City, but we have to take back our city from this radical anti-Americanism, anti-capitalism that has taken over. And people talk about he has a mandate. He does not have a mandate. He barely broke 50%. And in a Democrat city where many Democrats voted against him, that was not a political mandate.
Well, we'll see if there's anyone left to vote when everybody decides to leave for greener pastures. They get to keep their money and go to sunny places like Florida. Congressman Elise Stefanik, thank you for joining us. Congratulations on the book. Looking forward to reading it.
Thank you. Poisoned Ivies. You can find more information at EliseStefanik.com.
Fantastic. Great to see you. Thank you.
Thanks.